Yes, guys, welcome back to another stream. And we've got another panel show for you tonight discussing yesterday's game. We are still unbeaten, despite the negativity that's flying around on social media right now. We are still unbeaten. We do have problems that we're going to address tonight, but thank God we are not Manchester United sitting in 14th position with only 2 wins in the Premier League campaign so far. Big up to Pulpy, big up to Daps, Martin, Joe, and Bevel. Big up for joining me, boys. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you are new. Martin, let me start off with you, mate. Martin, let me come to you.
That was rude.
I'm Man City in crisis.
Because I know what he's going to do.
No, I'm Man City in crisis, Martin. I'm Man City in crisis.
No. First, I think some of the fans are in crisis, but that's a different...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who?
What you do?
Who?
Name
Who?
names. Call them out,
Name
man.
names.
Come on, man.
Well, and then I just think, I said it yesterday, do I think yesterday's performance was great? No. But we won. We're 30 games unbeaten at home in the Premier League, 50 games unbeaten at home.
Yeah.
And it's all doom and gloom. I don't get it. Don't understand it. We've got injuries.
It's called entitlement. It's called entitlement. That's what it is.
Do you want me to say it as it is? Do you want me to say it as it is?
Do.
All right, I'll say it as it is.
Say it as it is.
Some are spoiled, entitled, arrogant. We become Man United fans. I'm going to say it as it is. I'm going to say it as it is. We're now classing performances over results. What are we, Arsenal fans? Is that what we become now? Oh, let's play brilliant football. Don't win jack shit at the end of the season, but let's play fantastic football.
Do you know the entitlement we have got, though, for me? The entitlement I think we can have, is, and obviously doing a lot of shows with rivals, the entitlement I think we have earned is the entitlement to go, yeah, it's fine. It's fucking October, right? And we're entitled to say, that's fine. Things are a bit different to last season. Pep's trying to find a way without Rodri and find the best way of doing it, trying to find, like he does every single season, the period from August till January is work out what players he can put his trust in, right? And then February, that's when we go. And that's the entitlement I stick with, because there's no point in coming on and trying to glaze it, going, yeah, we've been wicked, because we haven't been, right? Like, we've been shit. I'm so sick and tired of our defense leaking fucking goals. And as a fan base, stop singing that fucking song about the best defense in Europe, because I am not signed up for it. Martin, if I ever catch you at a game singing that song, right, because that song's fucking embarrassing. We have not had the best defense in the league for like 16 months, let alone Europe. But we do have the entitlement of going, it's fine. Like, we know what will happen in January, February. But I'm with you, Martin. Can I ask you a question? What's your take on Kyle Walker?
What? Well, can't blame Kyle Walker for yesterday. He was on the pitch for 15 minutes. Whatever it was. What are we going to do? But blame him. Oh, sorry. Walker and Rico made the exact same mistake. The exact same player. Maybe just that player was cooking that day. Maybe Rico was just that damn good that day.
Bro, Rico actually, in a leg race, I was shocked at how much Rico actually was getting the better of him until he decided to kind of cut on the inside. I was shocked at how much he done. Basically. But Walker just got dusted, bro. That was a bit, I don't know, maybe Walker doesn't look.
What it is for me is, it was the reactions between the two players. And LB, you talked about on Friday, credit in the bank. The credit in the bank goes so far on certain players. There's credit in the bank on Monado. There's credit in the bank on other players. Walker, nah, no credit.
Valid point.
400 appearances.
No.
Credit.
Go on, Joe.
There's not.
No, Martin. Let Joe respond.
As this panel shows chief Kyle Walker hater, I feel like I have to like say here that the difference between the two is that Rico Lewis is seen as a pretty. Obviously, he's aggressive. We've seen what he's like. The guy's a kickboxer but grew up his life a kickboxer. Like, the guy is not a small, slight guy. He's aggressive. But what Rico Lewis is not is a pacey athlete whose job it is,
right.
no matter what I've said about Kyle Walker ever in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, the one thing that I can never ever take away from him, or have not been able to take away from him until maybe the last sort of few months, is that he is absolutely the one guy that you would want to be on the pitch when you've got a pacey guy coming the other way. Now, I've seen that guy get cooked by Martinelli this month. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, he's lost it. And the problem is that with Kyle Walker is that I know what you mean in terms of credit in the bank, and to be fair, I do kind of have a bit of sympathy for that side of things, because it's very quick to just sort of like sack off everything that he's done before that. But I don't think anybody, from a City point of view, is denying that Kyle Walker has been for a decade nearly the best right back in the league. But he's not now.
The thing is,
and
John,
that's
it's
just
nothing
fact.
to do with football. Let's put the cards
No,
on
it
the
is.
table. Let's be straight. Let's
think
be
this is-
straight. He's pissed up a wall and everyone's gone mad again.
I think that's all right. Like, everyone's done that. If you've been on a night out and
Yeah,
not pissed on a wall,
and
then
all of a
you've-
sudden, the
you've-
amount of men now are coming out. I've never pissed up a wall. I've never done so.
Yeah, fucking idiots,
Martin,
man.
You're
I've
lying.
said that before, Martin.
You're
It's the same group that are like, it's disgusting that he cheated on his. You're not going to get
But do
pussy
you know what
by
gets me? By the way, I don't give a
saying.
shit what they do.
No. But
I've
I'm
said
with
this
Joe.
before. Phil Foden did the exact same thing. Nothing said.
But I think what Joe's saying, I agree with. Right, you know that I will always give Walker like the credit for everything he's done. One for me, him and Edison, two of Pep's most important signings,
and
and everything.
consistent.
And yeah, 100%, bro, 100% over the years. Like the fact that he's been compared to fucking Trent and Reece James when he's well into his 30s. He's been phenomenal. But I think what we're seeing now is like last season, one thing that we saw is Walker keep allowing people to cut inside on him, right? And it was causing issues. The other thing we're seeing now is, I mean, probably seeing it if we went back, and Walker's not very good in the air. Like Walker's not great in corners as well. But the one thing that we will say with Walker is the saving grace. And the one thing I'll say this season is, do you know what? Yeah, even if Rico becomes our main right back, there'll be certain games, say if we're playing Real Madrid or something, and we go, right, we need Walker for pace. Now, what we saw on Saturday is now making us go, oh, shit.
Correct.
Oh,
I don't
fuck.
think if you think I'm putting Walker up against Vinicius Junior or Mbappe right now, you have got another thing coming. Like I'll take the risk.
Let me bring Pulp in there, because Pulp is the chief inspector of the Walker Defence League.
Kyle Walker Defence League. Yeah, I'm feeling
Let me
a bit
hear what you got to
offended
say on this, man.
here. Look, you got yesterday. He got shown up a bit of pace, but look who you're up against. He's like, are you one of the fastest wingers in the league? And he's an absolute animal. And he was going. You know, Walker been on the pitch for 2 minutes, or whatever he'd been on, and Traore had already been through 2 1-on-1s by then. So I think it's really hard to judge him on being dusted by Traore, because how many times has Traore done that at our ground anyway, and they've scored a goal. So I don't know. I think over the 10 years or whatever, is if he'd been the perfect professional and never done any of these things off the pitch, which is quite hypocritical to think that no one's going to be doing those things in real life. You know what I mean? All these probably hundreds of players out there that do the same sort of stuff and never get rattled, right? But like, to do these things off the pitch and then to have a few shaky performances, it's just the pressure is piling on him, man. And nobody wants him to be captain. You know, I don't see anybody out there that actually thinks he's a good captain, but people would actually put on social media, oh, he's the worst captain ever had, and this, that, and the other. Because
you think that was a mistake, Pulpy, giving him the captain's armband?
No, they chose it. The players obviously see what he's like in the dressing room and around the ground. You know, and if he has a bit of a dick off the pitch, then it's not affecting what the players think of him.
I'm a bit old, like in that sense. I'm a little bit old school. Is that like the captain? I don't know if I've just been spoiled, but as Martin's probably right, I'm a little bit spoiled in this sense by Vincent Kompany being like basically the greatest captain that you could possibly ever have. But then also after him,
And Fernandinho,
Gundogan, like all these players who like you can look at them and go like they're role models for kids. And I think that about Kyle. Like I think that captain should be a role model. And I know that like a lot of people just think that footballers shouldn't be role models, and that's fine if that's your opinion. But I think that club captains in particular are people like kids grow up wanting to be captains of football clubs. And I don't think that you should have someone who's got a private life like Kyle Walker doing.
Everyone has private lives, though.
Everyone has
private lives.
That's fine.
I don't want to be Kyle Walker.
Hang on.
As an adult, I want to be Kyle Walker.
I want an honest answer, and this isn't because I don't give a damn what anyone does off the field, but everyone's. I hear nobody mention it. Did you say the same about Phil Foden?
No, I didn't see anybody saying it. No.
When Phil Foden. Are we saying the Iceland thing? Is that what the film?
The Iceland?
Is? Yeah, I thought it was.
Hang on, I'm not done yet. The argument on the beach when his missus went through his phone and found the messages to another woman. That all right? When him and his mother were picking up fire extinguishers in the AO Arena, going to go twat someone over the head. That all right? This is what I mean.
No.
I'm not bothered what they do on a night out. I don't care.
There's a reason why Phil Foden's not captain, though.
I don't have No, you protect him because he's one of our own.
No, it's because he's not a like different standards.
Harry,
are you from Yorkshire, Martin? Are you from Yorkshire?
No, Manchester. Fulham. What do you mean, you Yorkshire?
I'm just why you're protecting Walker the way.
No. Do you know what it is for me? By the way, nobody talks to me about Walker on the field. Walker was on the field for 20 odd minutes yesterday. There was far worse players on that pitch than him yesterday. I know what we're talking about. Walker.
Yeah, it's only because
you brought him up. I swear you brought him up.
You brought him up.
I didn't speak about it, man. No,
Daps is the bait guy. Yeah, he's the one who
brought him up.
I don't know what you're talking about, Your Honour.
I swear to God, I didn't bring him up. Someone else brought him up.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I'm not bothered what any because I don't hold them as role models. I don't put film stars as role models. My role models are teachers, policemen, fire brigade, nurses. They're my role models. I don't have anyone who's film stars, footballers as role models. That's just me.
I think ultimately, us as fans and stuff, we can have our opinions on who should be captain, who does what and stuff. But if the captaincy vote is coming down to the 24 players in the squad, and then they choose it, and then it says to Pep says, right, you choose, and we'll go with that. And he's number one, and he has been for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Then he's obviously the right guy for the job.
Otherwise, I don't think Pep would allow it. By the way, if it wasn't, I think Pep. If there was serious captaincy issues, I actually think Pep would step in and say, no.
I expect he's been guys wrong, but he's actually said, "We'll go with it," and he does it. And he comes on
I think he's actually been good this season. That's the thing. No one's going to talk. I don't think he's actually been great.
Yeah, I was just going to say that because I actually have been like this idea that like no one's talking about is football. Like
I don't actually think
a lot of people have been talking about the fact that he's been pretty crap this season, and that's why the conversations like. Do you think anybody would care about his personal life? Like you say with Foden, does anyone care about his personal life? No, because he's mint. Like, does anyone care about Kyle Walker's personal life? Well, yeah, because the guy's like on the decline. He's 34 and he turned down and moved to Saudi over the summer. Like, you know what I mean? Like his performances are getting worse, and
but
I don't know why we're doing this.
Generational thinking for what people seem to make out. It's like
I don't know why we're doing this now, to be honest, because he didn't really do anything yesterday.
I didn't bring him up. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
That's brought him up. That's what I want to get. But opinion on Kyle Walker. That's what started it.
But the idea that like. The idea that this is all just brought on him by his personal life is not true. If his personal life was squeaky clean, he would still be putting in the performances that are making me wonder why he starts a lot of games. Like that's. Just,
I agree. Well, I want to big up to Amar first of all. It says Walker is the worst captain in Premier League history. Big up, bro.
I don't know. Bruno Fernandes is already. Bruno Fernandes is definitely competing with that already.
Yeah, I think we're a bit OTT at that point. Worst in Premier League history.
Well, let me ask you a question then. This is where I wanted to go before. Big up to Amar again. Says Walker after FA Cup final. I'm happy for my United mates. Absolute fucking clowns saying stuff about Grealish.
Jack Grealish not at the Euros on merit. Yeah, exactly. And then guy's an idiot, man.
All right. I didn't even bring Walker up. I wanted to ask a question, right? And I'll bring Breville. Let me bring in you because you're not said anything yet. What is actually going on with our defense, mate? Yeah, because no matter who we play, whether it's Diaz, Akanji, whether Stones comes in there, whether it's Rico Lewis at right back, whether it's Walker at right back. We are conceding goals, and Daps mentioned it earlier on. He's getting a bit pissed off with it, yeah? Why are we're meant to be one of the best teams in Europe, and we can't buy a clean sheet. Every time I'm doing pre-match previews and people are saying LB prediction, I'm saying, don't give me a clean sheet prediction because we ain't keeping one. What's going wrong here, and how do we solve it?
I think there's a mixture of a few things. I think, number one, we play too much of a high line, and we've got players like Ruben Diaz at centre-back who just doesn't have pace. I think that's probably one of the reasons. Too slow in the build-up. There's a number of reasons. I do think it was a bit unfair yesterday on Rico to be put up against the Adama Traore when you know that he's got the pace and the power. Bearing in mind, let's just point it out, it's so lucky that guy can't shoot. Because if he could shoot, he'd have had a hat-trick.
We'd have lost yesterday.
Yeah. By the way, it's worth saying as well, look, we kept a clean sheet against Bratislava. if Bratislava could shoot, they would have got a couple as well, because me and Steve were sat next to a security guard at the game in over there, right? And he was in stitches he was Slovakian. Every time they went through on goal, he was in stitches at the quality of their shooting as well, how bad they were. So I think is that our only clean sheet this season? I'm trying to think.
Inter Milan, I think we've had.
And Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, probably in hindsight, we're looking at the Chelsea one thinking, fucking hell, if we played Chelsea now, it wouldn't be a clean sheet. It's probably just when we face them. But I think some of the comments saying about Ake, I think Ake is a good point. I feel like at the moment as well, I obviously didn't start yesterday, but I feel like this season I'm seeing Pep playing Stones back to back, right? Which I feel like Pep wants to play John Stones into... he wants to put his faith back in John Stones. I don't know if maybe we do need to go back to that, a John Stone, or maybe what we do need to do is go back to ultimately 4 centre-backs and play a Kanji on the right, Kanji on the right, Stones, Diaz, and whether it be Vardio or Ake, whichever one we want to go with. But maybe that is it at the moment. We're kind of playing, if it does make sense, if you're playing Diaz, but if we compare Diaz now to Diaz of 4 seasons ago, when we first got Diaz was literally just a centre-back, whereas now we see Diaz stepping a bit further forward than we used to see him step forward. Then we've got, whether it be Stones or Akanji coming into midfield, we've got Rico coming into midfield, or we've got Kyle Walker bombing down the wing, and then we've got Vardio who's basically being told to go forward as well. So it does make sense if we're telling pretty much a whole defence to go forward, we're going to be caught on the counter. But then to add to that, we haven't got Rodri in front of it as well.
I know. Well, that brings me on to a point, because some people have been commenting on my videos and saying, LB, I don't think it's a defensive issue. I think we're not being protected enough from our midfield. So what do we think about? Is it our defence which is leaking the goals, or is it the fact that our midfield isn't protecting the defence, or could it be a combination? Pulpit, what are you saying?
It's probably a combo of both, really. We are massively overexposed, and I think a lot of teams are having a go now. Over the years, we've had 75% possession at home, and people will have 2 shots on target, and we don't concede anything. Now teams are thinking, you know what? If we can break that first press, we're away, and we've got pacey players, just put it in, and that gets them on the pitch, and we're very vulnerable to that. I don't even think Rodri changed that much, to be fair. I think teams are generally starting to see now, actually, we can have a go. I think Pep's probably going to really love that challenge in making sure that these teams don't come to our ground and have a go, because over the years, teams that have generally come and had a go at us have usually got something out of the game, whether it be a couple of goals or like a win or something. Yeah. So I don't think it's a quick fix in terms of putting Ake in, or everyone's wishing Rodri to come back or changing things. I just think teams are brave now.
I just want to add to that as well, and just basically say that I don't personally think that Kovacic and Gundogan together works. There's not enough legs in that midfield. For me, what I think you need to do is you need to have the combination of either Gundogan and Bernardo, or Kovacic and Bernardo, because then what you've got is you've got the defensive side of Kovacic or Gundogan, but then the work rate of Bernardo in that midfield to basically run that midfield. Because at the moment, you've got Gundogan and Kovacic, who, let's face it, they've got a combined age of 65? Yeah. We don't have that midfielder who can,
do you know what?
Keep it moving, basically.
That's a good point as well. And even if we go back to before De Bruyne got injured, we're just putting another 33-year-old in the midfield. And if you go back, right, I remember Rodri's first season. So obviously people say Rodri wasn't great first season, but I remember Rodri's first season was the season that Bernardo Silva did not feature that much. Remember the season where he'd had the Mendy situation and Pep seemed to take him out of the limelight a little bit. And I'd said after the first season, for a Gundogan and Rodri midfield to work, they would need Bernardo Silva's legs next to them, right? Yeah. But if we go further on that point, there probably is some truth in it even now, that when we're saying Bernardo Silva's legs, Bernardo Silva's not a spring chicken no more, as well. So we're looking at a whole midfield, and it's very... It's aging. Like the truth is, it's aging, and keep zooming in on him. But my issue with this player is He played against Bratislava, and that was his opportunity. Every single time he's given an opportunity to step up. And do you know what? Bratislava was against a very average team. I would have wanted to see him run that whole damn game. And
That's what I said.
The game.
That's what I said. Martin didn't agree, but that's what I said. I said that was his opportunity for me to like dominate that midfield and show us that like he can be that guy. You know what I mean?
And he just doesn't. Every time he's given an opportunity,
it's probably Bernardo in the middle.
It is, and then, but then like yesterday, for example, Bernardo, maybe you'd say he was in the middle, but because of the front three that we were playing, Bernardo was spending a lot of time actually popping up on the right hand side, not in the middle of the park. So
I don't think Bernardo on right wing works.
Not anymore. No, there's no need for it anymore as well.
No.
We play too much control. The midfielders we've been having this season and that, it's all about controlling the game. There's not really much defensive mindedness in any of them. You know, so when we do lose the ball, it's like when we have Rodri there, we know full well he'll empty someone in the halfway line to stop the play. You know, we're close now. He knows where the danger is. Whereas like Gundo, Bernardo, Kevin De Bruyne, you know, Kovacic in the middle, as good as they are on the ball, I don't think they're really that savvy at defending. They can defend as a unit, but not on their own like Rodri would. So that I think we're kind of getting exposed a bit because we don't have that defensive-minded midfielder who's good at going forward rather than having a good midfielder who can defend.
Do you know the problem?
Doesn't help that we have like with the defense as well, is that we have like Gvardiol, who spends a lot of time like higher up the pitch helping out in defense, and obviously if you've got Rico Lewis on the other side, who basically plays that sort of Cancelo 8/right back kind of role. When we've got possession, two of our defenders are probably sat near their penalty area, which means they're right for a counter attacking unless we've got and then that midfielder that you have sort of slotting back in next to the centre backs, rather than being Rodri, who is like literally the best in the world in his position, you've got either a 30-odd-year-old Kovacic or a 30-odd-year-old Gundogan, and neither of those are brilliant options to have there. So it's kind of like, on the one hand, I think the only way, I imagine the way that
that's why you need Bernardo in there for the legs.
It probably is, yeah. But I think the way that Pep will probably try and solve it will be just sort of, I don't because it feels like he's sort of. I personally think that the reason why we might have fallen off a bit in the last few games performance-wise, or certainly one of the factors, is that Rico Lewis hasn't really been doing that 8 thing as much as he has, and it hasn't felt like he has. Do you know, was it West Ham where it felt like he was basically playing as a second striker?
First 3 games were mint.
Yeah, and it feels like either he's been told to reel that in a bit, or he's just been told, because Rodri's got injured, you're going to have to do a lot more defensive midfield work rather than 8 work. And that feels like we've just kind of, I don't know, it feels like we're missing something. And obviously we're not short of scoring goals, but it feels like we're missing something a little bit more controlling at the edge of their box rather than in the centre of the pitch. So it feels like, we're kind of losing the ball in areas where they can just hit one over the top and get it back to us. So it's like, I don't know, because we've basically got 2 defenders who play high up, and you're not sat with like 3 or 4 defenders just waiting for a counter attack. We're getting counter attacked on quite a lot. And obviously, yesterday,
also, it's important to mention as well, like LB just said, the first 3 games were mint. What is the consistent out of all those first 3 games? It was Kovacic and Bernardo in the middle.
No, it was
also and De Bruyne, actually, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I say, this is my thing. People, what everyone just said there is spot on. When people are wanting, there's a reason for me why he's not going Doku, Sabio. This fast-paced, here we go on the wings. Because you just said, look at the midfield. Go back to Pep's quotes. That midfield is aging out, whether we like to admit that or not. It's aging out.
Yeah.
The defense is not quick. So the problem is you have 2 wingers that just go. The rest of the team aren't going with them because they're not able to keep up. So then you're in a position where Doku, Haaland and Savio, they've got to score in that moment or you're going to lose the ball back. There's a reason why we stop at the edge of a box and we go back because the rest of the team aren't caught up then. Because you look, Doku and Savio were going and they're going, no one around me. Because they're still 10 yards back catching up. This is the problem. Right now, I think Pep does want to go with the speedy, quick wingers. The problem is he hasn't got the right parts still to go with that. So it doesn't. And like people whether like this or not, Gundo for me was not coming in to play every game.
No,
it wasn't. I think that's one of the key things as well. Look, I do think Right, we definitely don't ever want to be like, whether it be Man United last season, or it be Newcastle, where we talk about injuries. Because for me personally, when you support a club, you support everything about the club. And look, if our squad's not deep enough, that's on us. That's on our board, right? That they haven't gone out and maybe invested. But Ake, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Oscar Bob. And by the way, I think we're missing Oscar Bob a lot. By the way, I think Oscar Bob, more than probably we ever would have imagined a year ago, but Oscar Bob is something different to every other winger we have in that he's far more of a goal threat as well. And when I'm watching games, I'm thinking, fucking hell, do you know what we could really do with Oscar Bob? But we are missing players. But I just think as far as with the whole meltdown thing, all of our fan base love Pep Guardiola, and we love Pep Guardiola for a reason. We should be happy in a way that this is happening right now, because I honestly believe he will solve this by December time. This will be resolved. This will be resolved, and we'll go into January, February, and things will start to click.
My worry about February is, have you seen the fixture list for February? The point where we normally turn it round and we go on one. That is probably the hardest month.
Good, but it usually is, bro. Go back and look at the last few seasons.
Yeah, no, I get it.
In February, we always have these back-to-back games against, while the Champions League's about to kick off, and then we're playing multiple teams. The truth is, that's when we come alive. Like, I think some of Pep's fitness team have said it as well. We are a club that like to play consistently. Like, because that's what, especially when it gets to the back end of the season.
Not to mention when you look at the run after that as well. The run after
and you
that,
should have everyone back, by the way.
Yeah.
Rodri, you should have everyone back, and you might have a new midfielder as well.
Yeah, and the run after that to the end of the season is very, very, very kind. Like that
the run after it's just that February.
Well, but someone mentioned it. Go on, man. No, go on, man.
I was going to say, Piers, I'm sorry, people can call me Happy Clapper. I've heard it all day. Happy Clapper wanker, main road this. I've heard it all. This is lovely. But the simple fact is, last season, we were go. This is, I feel, I've said this on so many streams. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day. We were complaining about conceding silly goals last season, early on. Go back. It's the exact same arguments again. At the exact same time. And the thing is, last season though, and we couldn't win a game. We couldn't win a raffle without Rodri.
Rodri,
now won 5 games without him.
But the media, right? I drove into Stansted last Saturday. I was listening to Talk Sport, right? And some of the crap they were saying, so Man City have dropped 4 points since Rodri has been injured. I thought, this is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. We won our first 4 games without Rodri. Rodri came, I think, didn't he come on as a sub in one league game and then started the Arsenal game, right? Mm-hmm. So actually, any of this, City can't win a game without Rodri is complete bullshit, because we won 4 without Rodri and then we've won 1 since Rodri. But at the same time, yeah, of course we're not going to look as good without Rodri. He's the best midfielder he's possibly the best footballer in the world, right? So of course we're not going to look as good without him. But in a way, it is a blessing that it's happened so early on, because one, it gives Pep the time to, and this is even where I see the media saying, do City need to buy a Rodri replacement? We've been blessed with 3 months to work out if we need to buy a Rodri.
We 100% do need to buy someone in January, though.
But we're saying that, but if Pep works out a way without him, then maybe we don't. We've been blessed.
For me, it's not about the quality though. For me, bro. It's about the quantity. I don't think we've got enough players in our squad to go the whole year competing on all fronts, bro.
So what would you do if Nunes?
Kovacic is due an injury.
You don't want to give Nunes. You don't want to give Nunes any kind of chance, because
he's been given chances. He's not taking them,
bro. I'm not given chance. It's not up to me. It's not up to me.
Look how many minutes.
It's up to Nunes to perform good. When Nunes performs good, I start taking him seriously.
He's been given more minutes than fucking Phillips was given. I swear down. We gave Phillips one game. Let's be real. We saw Phillips against fucking Southampton in the Carabao Cup.
Chelsea in the Premier League. Chelsea in the Premier League, etc. Listen, look at Nunes' minutes. Well, do you know where my issue is with Nunes is? Unless we're saying for him to be in the team, he's got to have a man of the match performance.
No, you
No.
do this all the time,
No,
Martin.
Didn't-
No one
didn't
said that.
Nunes-
All out.
Nobody
Didn't
said
Nunes get like 1,800 minutes or something last season? And everyone was saying like, "Oh, he didn't get a single minute.
No, he did.
Yeah,
But
He
this
didn't take his chances then either."
I'm just. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, one day our midfield shit, but we're not willing to give anyone the opportunity on the bench.
Oh my
To
God,
do
no,
it then.
Martin, no one's saying that. I'm saying I'll happily say Nunes can give a chance, yeah. But my point is, I'm not the manager. Pep clearly doesn't trust this guy because he never
And
plays
fans
him.
have got to stop trying to be the manager, LB.
So
I'm
I'm
not
saying
gonna lie, I've
no.
seen
Wait,
Nunes
said that.
in games,
I'm
though, and
saying
I'm not
if
seeing
Nunes is
nothing.
not given a chance by Pep Guardiola because Pep doesn't trust him, we need to buy another player. If Pep starts trusting Nunes and plays him, and Nunes is good, I might sit back and say, "Oh, actually, maybe we don't need someone in January." I'm not saying I'm doing this. I'm saying Pep doesn't trust Nunes. Nunes this season, bro. How many games he played this year?
I thought Nunes played well when he come on yesterday.
He's played 220 minutes all season. We're in October.
I don't think
I don't see anything in Nunes. When I see Nunes, I don't see anything in. Look, I'm not saying, by the way, that Nunes has been shit, but if we're looking at who's going to come in and be the engine in our midfield, who's going to potentially kind of take the weight off while Rodri's not here, there's zero qualities I'm seeing in Nunes that is making me go,
Yeah.
I don't think Pep wants him as a midfielder. I don't think Pep wants to see him in central midfield. I think he gets minutes there. But
I've got Nunes in the back of
more
the
of a
shirt,
inside
Walker
winger,
on the
yeah.
back of the shirt. I've got every name on the back of the
I
shirt.
think it's I think with Nunes, the thing is that he's a midfielder who is amazing for a system that is obviously not what we do. Like I think if we're going to get to a point, and which is on the club for buying him in that case. But I think that what Pep is probably going to do to try and cancel out the fact we've got rid of Rodri is going to be, right, we're just going to have to get back to... I hope is what we'll do, because it's not really what we have been doing for the last couple of games. But I think we saw with Lewis at the start of the season, it's going to get back to, we just need to pack the midfield with short passing wingers who can play it between quickly. We're going to have, basically dominate the ball as much as possible, because we've got no Rodri, so we can afford to give up as few chances as possible. Is Nunes that guy? Probably not. I don't think we've seen anything from him while he's been at City to suggest that. And as LB says, the fact that he's not getting any of these minutes outside of the Carabao and a fucking, a Make-A-Wish game against Slovan Bratislava, you know what I mean? That's
the point, Joe. The point about whatever we think about Nunes, is completely irrelevant. The point is Pep Guardiola isn't playing him. You know, this season in Premier League, there's been 630 minutes of Premier League football plus stoppage time, Nunes has played 21 minutes. I'm not saying, don't play
5 minutes ago, he's had loads of chances.
No, he's played.
Since he's been at City, not this season though.
Not this season. This season he's played 21 minutes in the
How
Premier
can we
League.
judge?
No, Martin, you're right. But the point is, so you saying that Pep Guardiola's wrong?
Just as well, by the way, when he actually did come on against West Ham, he was mint, and he still didn't get a sniff the next game. This is the thing. Pep obviously just doesn't rate him no matter what.
No, Joe, I'm fine with that. My issue is on the when I said give Nunes. Yes, I said give Nunes a go. Start him. I got crucified.
Start him. Yeah. No, Martin, you can start him. No, but Martin, the point is, we're not going to start him because Pep clearly doesn't want to start him. That's why we need to sign someone else in January.
No, take the Pep part out. No, take the Pep. I agree with you. I know Pep doesn't trust him. That's clear. I know that. I agree with you. I'm saying, as a fan debate, if we're saying, how do we get the change in midfield? Give Nunes a go. 21 minutes is not enough time.
I agree. Completely agree.
Sorry, that's not fair.
But we need to sign someone else in it.
Can't judge someone on. You went into your job and got judged on a day's work. Jesus Christ!
Well, I agree.
What about a year and a day's work? Because he's had a season. He's not been here. He didn't sign over the summer. He's been here for a year.
I don't think he's been bad when he's played this season. Man of the match against
neither do I.
I think he played very well in Bratislava.
Agree.
He played
all right against Bratislava.
Very clean about it.
It was
that Costa Rico Lewis was mad, wasn't it? I think, and again,
okay, LB. I think me and you watch different games, mate.
It's a system that doesn't suit him. He's a transitional midfielder. He really is.
He's a counter-attacking team.
I think that's where
he did make that assist through to Ireland for that goal. I forget who it was against.
West Ham.
Nice
that's what I mean.
And by the way, there was one in Bratislava on Haaland's head. before. Sorry, someone's head before he went off. He put a ball through to Lewis that if KDB had done it, we'd all been like waxing lyrical about it.
But the thing is, we agree. We all agree on this. But Pep's not playing him, despite the fact that he is doing these things, and that's kind of where we're like, well, if you're not going to use him,
his narrative. He's not coming on. He's creating chances.
I think to be honest with you, I agree with everything you say, Martin, but I do think you hype him up.
You're disagreeing.
No, I just think you do hype him up a little bit too much, in my opinion. But like, I agree in principle with what you're saying.
I'm not hyping him up. What I'm saying is give him a chance. I can't hype up someone.
I agree. I completely agree. Give him a chance.
Give him a go. That's all I'm saying.
I agree, but he ain't getting a chance. This is why in January we need to go into the market. Now we've been linked with this guy Richie. Played again yesterday against Inter Milan. Tough game, obviously. The
Did you
Torino
say Guy Ritchie?
I did actually say this guy Richie. Yeah.
Well, I've heard a bit of news, but I'll keep that.
Oh, go on, Bevel.
No, I keep it for off stream for now. Just off stream for now. But
Guy, kick him off. Kick him off. No, you can't do that. You can't do that.
You naughty. You teasing me. You naughty.
Where do you find these memes from? What do you do? You spend the day.
I just go on Instagram all day and just scroll through the reels and then save.
This is what LB does in his downtime.
Yeah. Right, okay, so we've been linked with this Richie guy for Torino. I don't know if any of you guys seen him. I've seen him twice now. Looks okay. I ain't going to get gassed about him. Like, I've only seen him twice, to be fair, so it'd be wrong for me to get gassed about him. Does anyone have any names? Anyone seen Richie? Anyone got any other names? We've also been linked with that Varela, who's at Porto at the moment. He's got a release clause. Like, give me some names, man. Who should City be targeting in this January window? Because I assume that we all agree, first of all, that City do need to buy someone in January. Yeah. Is there anyone? No one here that doesn't do that yet.
I do agree openly.
So what names have we got there? Anyone seen this Richie guy?
Yeah, I've seen that.
I'm not saying enough for him. If Richie was coming in as a summer target, as coming to be a 10-year player, great. I'm not more out with that. I'm a bit concerned that he's coming in to be right now the Rodri guy going like Bebo did say about the February fixtures. I think it's a bit unfair to go, right, here you go, mate, bang, straight in, Anfield away, it's all on you. I don't want to, and he might shine. I'd rather, tell it the other night, I'd rather maybe bring someone forward who we weren't expecting from the summer, put the money where the mouth is and go and get someone big.
Could not just be like, because we were linked with, obviously Dan Wharton was getting a lot of chat when he over the summer. It's like, do you just pay like a little premium?
Don't mention Wharton.
Wharton's been
please don't mention Wharton.
Every time I've watched that guy this season, he's been awful, mate.
Same, bro. I'm back. But Wharton, for me, people need to calm the fuck down on it on a serious level. Like at the moment, from what I see Rico Lewis is a lot better footballer than Wharton in my eyes already.
A couple of people are putting in the chat that Zubimendi guy, who Liverpool are obviously, because he's got a release clause, which is very Manchester City, and he looked good in the Euros, but that's literally all I've seen of him, and I'm absolutely not one for signing players based on a month-long tournament performances.
And just to piss them lot off as well. That would be the only other reason.
Reportedly, I was saying what I've heard is Zubimendi's not high up on the list. It's his profile as a player.
It would be that. I'm surprised at that because that seems like Joe said, very City style, doesn't it? Zubimendi, 50 million.
Very one-dimensional, I think, because he seems to be a straight six.
Do you reckon it's going to be this Richie then? Because he was speaking yesterday, wasn't he, Richie, about it?
I'm still not ruling out Barella. Not ruling it out.
Well, I've just put in private chat.
I think if City need to, I think they'll go in and go 80-85 mil.
I just don't think they'd sell. Why would they sell?
Just test the waters.
But you don't know like a big club, innit? Why would they sell?
Inter a weird one where they've got loads of money, but they constantly need to sell to sort of keep themselves afloat because of the state of Serie A. Like they're paying out like 200, 300 grand a week wages, but they don't have the income to support it, so they always have to keep just selling off players like, getting rid of Brozovic and stuff like that, and Lukaku getting big money in for him and stuff like that. I think there'll always be a club that will be open to a big sale. Whether they will be with Barella or not, I don't know.
And he's not a six. I think the Barella thing is he could do a six role, but I think I'd stick to my guns on this. I think Barella is the Gundogan replacement if they went after him.
Yeah, I agree.
And in kind of. Because your midfield's very, very different if you go Rico, Kovacic, Barella, or Bernardo, Barella. You know what I mean? It's just it's a bit more vibrant than a bit more different.
But can I? Okay, let me ask you though. If we get Barella, does that solve the short-term problem that we have until the summer? That we've
I
got no
think if
proper
we get
six?
Barella in, I don't think we go for Musiala. I'm being honest.
That's heartbreaking news.
I'm not sure they
Yeah,
get
fuck that then. Give me a season with no number 6 in that case, then I'll have Musiala, please.
The problem
Also,
is
the other thing,
Munich are offering massive wages now. Apparently
But from what I've heard, City are prepared to test the waters there.
the other thing with the number 6 role is that even if we get someone in January, I mean, fuck me, the odds of them being able to just get straight into the pace of the Premier League, straight up into Pep's system, ready to go immediately. It's going to be, this next 6 months is going to be him bedding in. And we're still not even, I think he will, but we're still not even 100% sure that Pep is going to extend and be here beyond that at that point. It's like you're buying a player who will be here could potentially be here for 6 months of Pep to learn his system, get up to speed with it, and then Pep's gone and out the door. Like, ultimately, a 6 that we buy in January, as much as I think we still need to get one and should probably prioritise signing one, because even if Rodri comes back, the chances of him being the same Rodri are pretty fucking minimal, aren't they, really? It still means that it's not going to be an immediate short-term solution, because realistically, they're going to have to bed into the system, like we've seen with so many other players. And it's not going to immediately improve things, most likely, I don't think.
Just get Tony Cruz back.
Tony Cruz, that'd be safe. That's why I think Zubimendi for me seems like a pretty safe option, because I don't think Zubimendi, he's played for Spain, right? Spain play a similar brand of football that City do. Yeah, he's Spanish. He can connect with Pep straight away. I don't think, and the thing is as well, Joe, I think this is where Pep's got to adapt. Pep can't bring in a new 6 and go, right, mate, I need you to do what Rodri's doing.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Pep has to simplify that role. Now, how he does that, whether he pushes John Stones from centre-back to centre-mid to basically take half of the pressure off the new DM, whether he just tells him play safe, whether he tells him not to go forward and let Foden do, I don't know. Pep's got to adapt here as well, because you're right. You can't buy a new 6 and just after a week of buying him, January the 1st, going, right, mate, you're the new Rodri. Because that's not going to happen. So Zubimendi to me seems like the safe option.
What do you do with Zubimendi when Rodri's back, though? And yes, I know may not come back. Like I said, Zubimendi can't push.
Rodri's not back until January 2026.
No,
anyway.
I'm asking when he's back.
He's going to be 29, 30 years old.
Rodri can push further forward. Like, Rodri can play.
That's what I mean. So you might have to change.
You can play them both together.
But these are the questions people will ask when they come
playing both together. Yeah, playing both together.
Yeah,
I don't
want
to
do
double pivot. No,
there's plenty of solutions.
No, don't want to do double pivot.
But Rodri's barely a double pivot anymore.
Because then you won't need a Musiala replacement then.
Rodri's barely a pivot though, because he doesn't. I mean, even as our 6, he runs to the edge of their penalty area half the game. Like, the guy's all over the place. And
exactly.
obviously, that's not necessarily the kind of player that he still will be post injury.
I'm only saying I'll put my money on City. Don't touch Zubimendi.
How old's Zubimendi?
26.
All right, so again, we've literally about 10 minutes ago been speaking about the age of Kovacic.
There you go, 25 Zubimendi is.
Right, so it's probably the perfect age to come in. The fact that we know even from Spain during the World Cup, where I'm with you, Joe. I haven't seen much of any of these players to comment on them too much, but we did see Zubimendi in a World Cup final come in and just pick up where Rodri left off, right? And then you look at the age of Kovacic, right? Kovacic is not a spring chicken. He's going to go soon. He's starting most games. Gundogan, he's definitely not a spring chicken. So if we're bringing in a Zubimendi, I don't think game time's going to be an issue with him over the next 3-4 years whatsoever.
This is my thing, Daps. This problem was our summertime. This deal was so easy. Right? It wasn't even linked with us
because we got Gundogan
and
Rodri.
But
that's not the way City do business, LB. We don't get panic and go, we didn't want Zubimendi 6 months ago.
Something
do that.
You know what? Something wasn't right this summer, though. Something, whatever it was,
you don't roll like that.
But something wasn't right this summer because we all knew. There's no coincidence that everyone, including Rodri himself, were all screaming, "We need Rodri cover," and then Rodri plays 60 minutes of football, and guess what? We need Rodri cover for the whole damn season. Like, the club got it wrong. And this is what I'm saying. We have to just understand.
Well, I think the club bought Gundogan or got Gundogan in and thought that was enough.
And that's the thing. Us as fans, we all got excited with Gundogan, and I'm happy that Gundogan's come back. And like, I'm not trying to, at the moment, people are almost trying to rewrite history on Gundogan and act like anyone at any point in Gundogan's career at Man City was screaming about how good he was in October. He's never been that player. Gundogan is a player that in the back end of the season comes alive. Even if you look at the season where he was our top goal scorer, none of us knew that was going to happen. De Bruyne got injured, Aguero was injured, and Pep goes, yeah, we're going to play Gundogan as the false nine. And next minute, it was our top goal scorer. So, but we all got a bit too excited thinking, yeah, Gundogan's going to come in and he's going to be able to fix all the problems. And that's on us a bit. Like, but the board definitely took their, well, I think, have taken their eyes off the board. There might be reasons for it, but we should have done something in the summer because we're now here having this conversation.
I don't mean. I think what City did in the summer was enough. I don't think you can plan for an ACL. My thing will now be is if they don't sign someone in January, I think that's really poor.
No, but you can't plan for an ACL, but you can look at the age of your midfield and go, hold on a minute.
Well, we all did want to get the question, who would we have sold? You had to sell to get another one.
Nunes was being linked with Saudi all summer, wasn't he? Like there was
no,
some talk.
Came out, John said Nunes was going nowhere. Nunes didn't want to go to Saudi. So I mean, as we're doing this again, fans are saying just sell off. Newcastle did that all summer. Sell Wilson, sell Almiron, sell him. None of them went.
Not necessarily a case of selling, but we could have potentially looked at loaning out like O'Reilly or Josh Wilson-Esbrand. Yeah. That there are places in that team which, let's face it, they are going to get very to little game time at all, and one of those could be replaced.
O'Reilly and
Wilson's going to get a bit more game time.
They're not in the 25.
I actually think
Nico O'Reilly is.
No, I asked. Apparently, he's not. He's Wilson-Esbrand apparently isn't. It's 24.
But do you know what? There's something that LB was saying earlier about Nunes, and it's probably valid that if Pep doesn't trust Nunes enough to start him, and do you know what? If Pep doesn't trust McAtee enough to start him, right, then really, all right, maybe Pep should have thought about this in the summer. Yeah. And maybe gone, do you know what?
Now you're asking the right questions, Daps, because I agree with that. Because you know for a fact they turned a bid down for McAtee in the summer at over 30 million quid.
And this isn't me personally, because by the way,
and he's agreed a new deal. So
I'm glad with McAtee. I really want McAtee to succeed. Really want McAtee to succeed. So I'd rather give a bit more time to McAtee than I would Nunes. But like I said, look, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying Pep out, but in hindsight, Pep and whoever it was at the club, if you're not going to trust a player to start him, then maybe getting rid of him and going all out to get a Bruno career would have been a valid thing to do.
It's a fair point. Let me come to some of these super chats before we bring it to a close. Big up to Cool Guy says, big up the panel. Would you guys be okay with getting Perone back as a January backup player along with Echeverry? I feel Pep can help improve both their skill set.
I mentioned the Perone thing. I think Perone looked good in the summer as well. I haven't seen how he's doing over there. But,
apparently he's doing all right. Echeverry's not playing for River Plate at the moment, which is a bit disappointing. So, but he was cooking before the new manager come in. Di Michele's got sacked in it, and then
I think the one thing I saw of Perone in pre-season was he's definitely got an engine on him.
He has, yeah. I like him. He looks all right.
Perone, he's had 2 loans. Doesn't
usually screams game over, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
He's basically now he's on his 2nd loan, so it doesn't sound like he's got.
Yeah, that does. Big up to Marshy Boy as well. Says big up the panel. The performances will get, in my opinion. Pep always finds a plan. We'll definitely sign a young DM in January. Yeah, if to be honest with you, lads, I think it's going to be this Richie guy. I think the noise there is loud. He spoke about it himself yesterday, Richie. The Torino director spoke about Manchester City yesterday. So I just think that, like, you know, there's no smoke.
Sounds like there's too much going on already.
It sounds like there's too much going on. And listen, I would say I've not watched a lot of him. I've only watched 1.5 matches, but it looks all right. But all right, like if he's going to be coming in and starting for us, it's all right enough. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's a massive jump in it. It's a massive jump from that standard in that team to walking straight into our team and expecting to hit the ground running.
That was the problem with Calvin Phillips as well.
Yeah.
Going from relegated Leeds to champions of the league.
He looks a little bit quicker than my thing with Phillips is Phillips was just too slow. Richie looks a
Yeah.
little bit quicker than Phillips. He doesn't look rapid, but he's good on the ball. Didn't lose the ball hardly ever. Looks like he's got a bit of a brain on him in terms of where to play the ball and that. But it's difficult, man. Like when you're judging a player play for Torino, it's really hard to watch it. Like, yeah, I can judge his individual qualities. I can see that the fact like he's good on long balls, his long shots are mint. He keeps the ball well. But like in terms of actually translating that to Manchester City,
who were the opponents that he was playing against? Because if you watch him against that's it. Inter and AC are probably the games where you'll get.
He played against some other team. Lazio, I think it was.
Yeah, you want to see against
Samuel Ritchie. You mean, didn't you?
Samuel Ritchie, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks all right.
By the way, can we just pick up Edison, by the way, on his man of the match performance?
Oh, mate.
I also think. I think Foden's slow. Like we got to remember, Foden didn't start the first however many games it is, and I do think there's something going on with Foden. I think
it's solid. I
think it's. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's. I think it doesn't seem to be a coincidence that there's. It's around the time of his having a newborn. Like,
yeah, I believe it's solid. You know what's funny though? Yeah, big up everyone in the summer that wanted to sell Edison and get that Diogo Costa in from Porto. Yeah,
how shit did he look?
Yeah, fucking brilliant.
Great
shout there.
I think Foden of what since he's started coming back in, obviously he's got to get fully up to match fitness and whatever.
This is what I mean. We're worried. Jesus, what the other 19 clubs in the league like that?
I think Foden. We're going to need Foden at the moment. I think Foden's working through the gears to get back to where he was. I thought Foden was quite good yesterday, and as well Grealish as well. I thought Grealish again. Yeah. So there are some positives. It wasn't all. No, do you know what? I'm still here for. I was going to mention this earlier. I think if Bob was fit. So we had a choice of three wingers easily. I think Pep might, because when Grealish came on against Bratislava, he played in a kind of 10 role, didn't he? He played a bit more central. And there could be some legs in Grealish playing in a bit more of a central role, because if we're talking about our midfield not having enough legs, well, Grealish has got that. And we have seen it over the last 2 seasons when he has
played. England when he did it in the game, he was brilliant in that.
But even for us, we've seen him get back and put a shift in as well, defensively. Yeah. So Grealish has got a bit of an engine on him. So I don't know. And he's a good ball carrier. So I don't know if Grealish could be an option in the middle at some point.
You know what it is for me? And I'm going to shock everyone now, because apparently he's someone else that apparently I've got stocks in.
You're Grealish sexual.
I thought it was Grealish's worst game in a month. Like he wasn't doing exactly what he'd been doing the last few games.
Yeah, I was mad.
The last few games, he was a lot more positive. Going forward, taking on his man. I just don't think he did that yesterday.
But you know what the thing is, right?
That was when he came on. That was the whole team.
No, but this is the thing. We have this debate about Grealish and Doku. My honest opinion, I think they're both just okay. They both go into form. They both drop out of form. And I think you just got to keep switching them. You just got to keep switching them. Whoever's in form playing, and then one of them gets out of form.
But what, Martin, you just said there about when Grealish came on, he wasn't as direct. He wasn't as positive.
No, yesterday when he started.
No, yesterday. But
started.
Yeah, I hear it.
He started the game.
But do you not feel like maybe to a certain extent, it seemed like most of the team were a bit like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, do you know what? You know what worried me more yesterday? How much collapse? Because Fulham had chances, but the one thing I will say, what really scared me was Akanji and Grealish go off. Fulham suddenly had the freedom in the Etihad.
Yeah.
And then we were playing like the counter-attacking away team.
Yeah.
Did that against Newcastle as well? We were playing
yesterday.
Yeah, it did against Newcastle. You're right. It did.
Newcastle, we had to control the game.
Yeah,
just chucked off the wingers and brought
deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper yesterday.
He's learning from Southgate, mate. He saw Southgate in the summer get to a final and thought, "Fuck it, we'll have a go." Maybe Southgate's coming to us, not Man United.
But this is where I think Pulpy's comment earlier on. I think teams are coming to the Etihad now and the braver. And I think that's what we're struggling with. Is teams are now having a go at us. They're not coming playing 12 at the back and doing an Arsenal every week. Teams are coming and they're trying.
They're set up to have a goal now. Teams set up to have a goal because they know they can get something out of it. And these teams play like this every week in their own games. Don't just turn up against us and do it. They're built to play like that all the time now. So for them, it's more comfortable to sit back and beat the press and the transition.
Brentford had a goal.
Yeah,
Fulham had a goal.
Well, yeah. Fulham, Palace usually have a goal. Teams have a goal now, and
I just think it's as simple as like City always concede like those kind of like transition counter attack kind of opportunities, and just like it's as simple as that. And like we yesterday we conceded one, and like we conceded, and we conceded quite a few, and that just happens. Like we have games that since no matter how good we've been since Peppers have been here, that has been the way to beat us. Like just sit a bit deep, have. So basically, if you've got Adama Traore, you've got like you've got the perfect counter-attacking player against Manchester City that you could possibly have. It's just fortunate for us that he can't play football, and then you sorted, and then that's all.
I know what, Joe. I think it's a bit harsh that Martin just mentioned it before. Edison was brilliant yesterday. Those two one-on-ones that he saved,
he was, but I think a decent winger scores.
Also, that one where he came out with his feet. Normal keepers would just let him have a free shot there. The fact Edison was out with him, he made him have to go high. And I know Edison gets a lot of criticism because he didn't stop shots, but yesterday he literally won the game for us.
You know how much of a weird game.
Seeded shots.
You know how much of a weird game it is when Kovacic gets a brace. You just know then it's just a weird game.
Go out to LB.
Well, did you see that he's already outscored 12 out of his previous 14 seasons?
All season, I think.
He's only ever had one hat trick in his whole career, and it was 10 years ago playing for Inter Milan.
But also, Caspian, I've been going on.
I know
about how I hate him shooting. Like the Arsenal game, it's like Kovacic kept shooting in the Arsenal game. I'm like, stop shooting, man. You never score. And then yesterday, you're thinking, Foden or Haaland's going to have a field day against Fulham. It's Kovacic who gets 2 goals.
Watch all of his goals. They're all edge of the box.
Yeah, they are.
Where was that against Arsenal? Where was that against Arsenal?
But what can you do with 15 men in the line?
Yeah, that was the difference. Yesterday it was more they weren't with the team parking the bus, so it was a bit more open.
7 goals.
It was a bit
do a
easier.
lot with 7 goals stood on the line.
How many goals has he got now, LB?
What, this season or in his whole career?
This season, is it 5?
He's got 3 this season in the Premier League. He's got 20
So
in his whole
what
career.
I need you to do now, coming up to the Wolves game,
have
a go at a player who hasn't scored in a few months or whatever.
Who? Grealish. Grealish hasn't scored since December 2023. I'll have a go at him.
It's nearly a year.
We'll have a go at him then, whenever you want. Whichever your agenda's up for that day. Whichever one you want to run with,
I was saying Cova gets more than 10 goals this year or not? Yes or no?
No way.
I think he gets 10.
No, but that double his previous best.
LB. He gets hat-trick. Oh, he shinned him in.
If he gets 10 goals,
I'm telling you, he's going to get 10.
That means he's doubled his previous best.
LB, did you rate Sean
Gota? He'll be looking to get 5.
Martin, we know
he's on a
you
hot streak.
rated Sean Gota.
I did.
Yeah, you rated everyone, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nolito was one of your favourites, I heard.
Barry Conlon. They're all in there.
Creaney. Jerry Creaney. Mangala.
Oh, no, I couldn't rate him.
He draws the line at Mangala.
I just want. No, don't worry. I've got City badges tattooed all over me body. It's all right.
No, but I will get on to Grealish, though. He's not scored since December 2023, so I'll have a go at him. Don't worry. Big up to Jay, says Kovacic heard LB's blasphemous comments about not scoring more than 2 this season. Yeah, listen, buzzing. Glad I could help. Big up to Jace. Listen, we're gonna wrap it up, man. Martin's going live, so's Daps as well. So you got your choice of streams there, lads. Big up to you guys for jumping on.
I can't compete.
You can't. You're talking about City. We're just going to be roasting Chelsea, roasting
that's all right,
Man United, and roasting Tottenham. Oh.
Yeah. There you go. Big up
So
to everyone for jumping on.
Be roasted, never a foul.
There you go. Never a foul.
Which I'm on tomorrow.
You are.
Big up. Smash a like on the stream, guys, if you've not done so already. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. I'll be back tomorrow. Me and Nobbins, we're going to talk about yesterday's game. We're going to speak about the next coming fixtures, tactics and all that. Should be a good one. LB.
That'll be
positive. One in Bratislava on the Sunday night.
Show.
We're watching the Man United game, and a couple of older lads have rocked up and gone to me and Steve. He goes, what do you know? What do you two know about Nobbins? And we go, what? And they go, can you vouch for him? Because do you know him? Does anyone know him? And I go, nah, he's sound. And then he goes, yeah, but I think he's a Mark Goldbridge plant. right? What's going? I guarantee you, it's not a Mark Goldbridge plan. Mark Goldbridge is funding Nobbins, apparently.
That's a plan.
Like, nah, mate.
I'm gonna have to shoot because I've got people.
so-
ringing
Yeah,
me
no
now.
worries, man. Big up, lads. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. See you later.